Let me ask you something very simple. If walking alone fixed knee pain, why do so many people over 60 still hesitate before climbing stairs? Think about that for a moment. Because most people are told the same thing. Stay active. Keep walking. Don't sit too much. And to be fair, that advice isn't wrong. But it's incomplete. And incomplete advice leads to something frustrating. You keep doing what you're told, but the pain doesn't really go away. It lingers. You feel it when you stand up, when you turn, when you go downstairs. And slowly, without realizing it, you begin to adjust your life around your knees. You move differently. You avoid certain things. You sit more often, not because you want to, but because your body is quietly asking for protection. Now here's what most people don't realize. After the age of 60, knee pain is rarely just about wear and tear. That's the old explanation. The more accurate reason is something deeper. Your muscles are no longer supporting your knee the way they used to. And one group matters more than anything else. The quadriceps. These are the muscles on the front of your thighs. They stabilize your knee every time you move. But over time, something changes. The muscle doesn't activate the same way. It becomes slower, weaker, less responsive. Even if it hasn't shrunk much, it simply doesn't fire fully. And when that happens, the knee joint takes on more load directly. Instead of muscles absorbing force, the joint absorbs it. Instead of smooth movement, you get strain. Now here's the part most people miss. Walking does not fix this. Walking keeps you moving, but it doesn't rebuild strength enough to protect the knee. So you end up in a cycle. You stay active, but your knees don't feel stronger. You keep moving, but your confidence doesn't return. And slowly, it starts to feel like this is just part of aging. But here's the truth. This is not about doing more movement. It's about doing the right movement. Because this is a mechanical problem, and mechanical problems respond to precise solutions. Targeted muscle activation, controlled strength, proper alignment. Not more walking, not pushing through pain, just the right exercises done consistently. Today, I'm going to show you 3 movements. Simple, safe, and extremely effective. They don't require equipment. They don't take long. But together, they rebuild the system that supports your knees. Now before we begin, think about this. What feels hardest right now? Standing up? Climbing stairs? Walking longer distances? Keep that in mind. Because each of these exercises addresses a different part of that problem. Now let's begin with the first one. And this one surprises almost everyone. Exercise number 1. It's not squats, it's not lunges, and it's not walking. It's the wall sit. And most people underestimate it because it looks too simple. Just leaning against a wall. But this movement is one of the most effective ways to wake up your quadriceps safely. Here's why. It strengthens the muscle without forcing the knee through deep movement. That means less irritation and more control. Now, let's go through it. Stand with your back against a wall. Place your feet about shoulder width apart. Step your feet slightly forward. Now slowly slide down the wall. Not too low. Your knees should bend to about 45 degrees. That's enough. Your back stays flat against the wall. Your head relaxed. Your knees stay aligned, not collapsing inward. Now hold that position. Breathe normally. Start with 10 seconds, then rest. Repeat that 5 times. As you get stronger, build up to 20 or even 30 seconds. 2 to 3 sets, a few times per week. Don't rush. This is about control, not depth. If you feel sharp pain, simply rise a little higher. Now here's what happens when you do this consistently. Your quadriceps begin to wake up again. They start supporting the knee the way they're supposed to. Standing becomes easier. Stability improves. That feeling of the knee giving out starts to fade. And something else changes too. Confidence. Because when your body feels stable, you move differently. You stop hesitating. You trust your legs again. Now, if you've been following so far, take a moment to like the video and subscribe, not for motivation, but for guidance that actually works. Because small changes like this add up. Now, the wall sit strengthens the front of your knee, but there's another problem most people overlook, and it comes from the side. Exercise number 2. The supported side leg raise. It looks simple, almost too simple, and that's exactly why people ignore it. But this exercise targets one of the most important muscles for knee stability, the hip stabilizer. Specifically, the muscle on the side of your hip. Its job is not to create big movement. Its job is to keep your pelvis steady when you stand or walk. Now here's the issue. If this muscle is weak, your knee starts to move inward when you walk. Not dramatically, but slightly. And that small inward movement increases stress on the knee joint over time. So even though the pain is in your knee, the cause may be higher up. Now let's do the movement. Stand next to a wall or chair for support. Stand tall. Do not lean. Now slowly lift one leg out to the side, not forward, not backward, just to the side, about 8 to 12 inches. Keep your toes pointing forward. Lift for 2 seconds. Pause briefly. Then lower slowly for 3 seconds. Control matters more than height. Do 10 repetitions, then switch sides. If it feels easy, go up to 15. But don't add weights yet. Focus on control first. You should feel it in the side of your hip, not your lower back. If you feel yourself leaning, reduce the height. Now here's what this does. It improves alignment. It keeps your knee from collapsing inward. It reduces pressure on one side of the joint. And over time, walking becomes smoother. Stairs feel more stable. Improves. And remember, balance is critical after 60. Because stability isn't just about strength. It's about control. Now we've strengthened the front and stabilized the side. But there's still one missing piece. And this one is the most important of all. Exercise number 3, the sit to stand. This movement is simple, but incredibly powerful. In fact, it directly reflects your independence. Because think about it. How many times a day do you stand up from a chair? This movement is part of daily life. And when it becomes difficult, everything else follows. Now let's do it properly. Use a firm chair, sit near the edge, feet flat on the floor, about hip-width apart, knees aligned with your toes. Now lean your chest slightly forward. This is important. It shifts your weight over your feet. Now press through your heels and stand up. Take about 2 seconds. Don't lock your knees at the top. Pause briefly. Then slowly sit back down. Take about 3 seconds to lower. Control that descent. That's where strength builds safely. Start with 8 repetitions. Do 2 sets, a few times per week. If you need to use your hands, that's okay, but use them lightly. Gradually reduce support over time. As it becomes easier, slow down the lowering phase, or pause halfway down. This builds even more control. Now here's why this matters so much. This exercise connects everything: strength, balance, coordination. It trains your body to move the way you actually live. Standing up, sitting down, moving with control. And when this improves, your independence improves. Now let's step back for a moment. The wall sit restores strength in the front. The side leg raise stabilizes the hip. The sit to stand brings everything together. Front, side, full function. That's the system. Not random exercises, not endless walking, just targeted movements done consistently. Now here's the reassurance I want to leave you with. Knee pain after 60 is common, but it is not permanent. Your body can still adapt. Your muscles can still get stronger. Even in your 70s, even in your 80s. Strength improves with use, stability returns with practice, and confidence follows both. You don't need a gym. You don't need complicated routines. You just need a few minutes, a few times a week, done correctly. Now I'd like to hear from you. Which of these 3 exercises will you start with first? Let me know in the comments. And if this helped you understand your knees better, Subscribe for more simple, practical guidance. Because aging well is not about doing more. It's about doing what works, calmly, correctly, consistently, and your knees are capable of improving at any age.